There's a meme online that says, nothing ever happens. Elections come and go, politicians campaign on bold promises, voters demand change, and yet the system barely deviates from the same old status quo. But this is how our system was built. At the United States Constitutional Convention, the framers designed a government that slows power down. The first part of our bicameral legislature, the House of Representatives, was meant to reflect the people quickly. 2-year terms meant change could happen very fast. New ideas, positions, and viewpoints could quickly be brought to the forefront of politics. In contrast, the Senate was meant to represent the states and provide stability. Originally, senators weren't even elected by voters. They were actually appointed by state legislatures. This all changed with the 17th Amendment to the Constitution. After 1913, senators became directly elected, and the result? 2 chambers, both elected by popular vote, operating under similar political pressures. The Senate, once a place for aristocrats and experts, stopped functioning as a body representing state governments and became just a slower version of the House. So how does this tie back to the nothing ever happens meme? Today, to pass serious reform, you need the House, 60 votes in the Senate in most cases, the presidency, and courts that won't block you. That's why nothing moves. That's why nothing changes. The final part of the process I just mentioned, legislation being blocked by the courts, means we lose out on key features of our right-wing platform. Things like border security, regulatory rollback, spending restraint, and energy independence. When conservatives win elections, when we control both houses and the presidency, still, nothing ever changes. And while Congress gridlocks itself, another branch has quietly accumulated power, the judiciary. Today, a single federal district judge can issue a nationwide injunction blocking an executive order. One unelected judge can freeze border enforcement policy. One judge can halt regulatory reform. One judge can stop immigration enforcement changes nationwide before the policy even fully takes effect. This is not the balance the Founding Fathers hoped for. This is judicial dominance. The Constitution establishes judicial review, yes, but it does not require that every judge in every district has the power to halt national policy across all 50 states. Nationwide injunctions are a modern expansion of judicial authority, not a clearly mandated constitutional requirement. If we care about democratic accountability, this has to change now. Here's the reform I'd like to see. Only the Supreme Court should have the authority to issue nationwide injunctions blocking executive orders. Lower courts can rule within their districts or circuits. They can hear the cases. They can interpret the law. But freezing national policy should require review and decision by the highest court in the country. This reform would restore balance between branches, prevent activist forum shopping, reinforce that national elections have national consequences, strengthen executive authority while still preserving constitutional review. Think about it. The president can issue an executive order, and some random judge in the most liberal district in the country can rule against it. And immediately, the executive branch loses all capability to govern domestically. If voters elect a president on a platform of enforcing immigration law, expanding domestic energy production, and rolling back bureaucratic overreach, that agenda should not be stalled indefinitely by scattered district courts issuing conflicting rulings. The executive branch is the only branch elected by the entire nation. It should not be the weakest branch. Nothing ever happens because the system is built to resist momentum. But when judicial power expands beyond its constitutional lane, it doesn't just slow change, it overrides electoral outcomes. Conservatives believe in ordered liberty, constitutional limits, and accountability. Weakening unchecked judicial expansion and reinforcing executive authority within constitutional bounds is not radical. It's not crazy, and it's not far right. It's a restoration of balance, the balance we were promised in the Constitution. If elections are going to actually matter, power has to align with voters. Otherwise, the meme stays true. Nothing ever happens. Nothing ever changes. And look, there's a deeper rot here. Censorship isn't just about silencing voices. It's about choking progress. There's a tiny clique of global elites, tech overlords, media gatekeepers, finance titans, bankers. They own the platforms, the algorithms, the narratives. When a radical idea threatens their control, it gets shadow banned, deplatformed, labeled as misinformation, or just buried under a mountain of noise. New energy technology? Too disruptive to the world order. Border fixes? Too divisive. Even basic skepticism about endless wars or debt spirals, poof, it's gone in an instant. They don't debate, they delete. And every time they do, our momentum dies. Real change, which could be bold, it could be messy, it gets slowed to a crawl. Because the ideas that could actually fix things never get airtime. They'll tell you that censorship is about protection. It's not. It's about preservation. Preservation of their power. So should judicial power be addressed? Of course. The judicial branch has gotten too strong. But we can't stop there. If we want elections to mean anything, we have to break the chokehold on thought itself. Otherwise, nothing ever happens. Nothing ever changes, and there's no stability. There's stagnation. Thanks for watching another video, guys. Like I mentioned, the judicial branch has gotten too strong, but censorship is something we really need to focus on. The fact that a few social media sites can ban ideas just because they're controversial is ridiculous. And we probably need legislation that can actually override this intrusion on our free speech, our First Amendment rights. But let me know what you guys think down below, and once again, thanks for watching.